Ako urong dito, and I said I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
Hukong ng pagbabago, hukong ng pagbabago, pag-asenso, hukong ng pagbabago, pamanaon, hukong ng pagbabago, katawan ang nasayo.
Good morning, Malacañang Press Corps. Happy Balik. Kasama na natin si Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo.
Good morning. I'm ready if you are.
Questions
Joseph.
MPC. Joseph? Tinawag ka na ni Secretary.
Hindi na pahat yan eh. Gusto niya 11:30 eh.
Sir, sa Kaliwa Dam project, sir, kasi Justice Carpio is saying, I'm sure you're aware of the issue already, na in case we default in Chico Dam project, pwede daw i-seize yung reed bank because of the provision in the contract. Do you want me to read the contract or do you want to recommend?
Number one, bakit naman tayo magdi-default? We never defaulted from any obligation to any international organization with respect to loans for countries. Bakit naman tayo nagbabayad? Number two, they've been saying that bakit daw yung kontrata pabor sa China? Eh bakit? Hindi ba pag nag-uutang tayo, meron ba tayong say? When we loan from the bank, it's always the terms of the bank. Natural lang yun na they will make sure na hindi sila malulugi sa kanilang pinautang sa atin.
Sir, can you interpret for us, sir, yung Article 8 provision ng sa contract, no? If I may read, and I quote, waiver of immunity. The borrower hereby irrevocably waives any immunity in the grounds of sovereign or otherwise for itself or its property in connection with any arbitration proceeding pursuant to yada yada or with the enforcement of any arbitral. But this one, notwithstanding the foregoing, the borrower does not waive any immunity of its assets, which are used by a diplomatic or I'll just show it to you later. But do you think that's the right interpretation of the justice?
As
That
I said,
we will waive.
Even assuming that that is true, I understand that this is a standard contract. Whenever our country gets loans from other countries. Others, hindi ganyan. But you cannot also blame the lender if they will impose certain terms na pabor sa kanila. Eh, tayo umuutang eh. But as I said, we never did not pay our loans. Lahat ng loans binayaran natin. Kaya siguro malakas ang loob natin. Yung mga who entered into a contract. Dahil yun naman in the event that you
Default.
cannot pay. Eh, alam naman nilang makakabayad tayo. So, parang useless provision yun.
But sir, you're not denying that that is a possibility that China can seize the reed bank as alleged with the justice. If, I mean, maganda sana yung
Sa akin, it's
default.
not a possibility kasi we will never naman renege.
What if we do? I mean,
Hindi nga, never nangyari sa atin yan eh.
no, what if
We're known for paying our obligations.
pero sir, kung halimbawa nga, I mean, kasama-samaan na bigla tayong hindi
Ako, sa
makabayad.
tingin ko, kaya sila pumasok dyan kasi alam nila hindi mangyayari.
Pero is that an assurance that it will not happen, the allegation?
It will never happen kasi nga we pay. Tsaka lit lang naman, magkano ba? $92 million, magkano lang yun?
Sige, sir,
Okay,
yun na.
follow-up, Ina.
Sir, tama po ba rin yung sinasabi ni Justice Carpio that if in case we do default on our loan, yung magiging arbitration case basically is too much in favor of China because it will be formed by 3 members tapos 2 sa China. So parang kumbaga automatic or malamang daw matatalo tayo if it gets to that.
Again, as I've stated, to my mind, just like bank institutions, when they lend, they impose terms to make sure na mababayaran sila. Eh, siguro itong mga pumasok dyan, mga economic managers natin, alam nilang never naman mangyayari, kaya binigay nila. Because it will never happen.
Is that a prudent decision to make?
Prudent.
Na parang lugi tayo knowing na lugi tayo
Eh, wala ka
in
naman.
such a
Do you have
scenario.
do you have any say when you're borrowing money? O sabihin nila, di wag na lang, hindi na lang kami pairam sa inyo. O since alam mo naman na, babayaran naman namin yan kahit ano pang imposition dyan eh. Wala rin mangyayari dyan sa mga terms nyo.
Thank you, sir.
Rosalie Cos and then Pia.
Sir, bilang Chief Presidential Legal Counsel din, hindi ho ba labag sa saligang batas na gawing garantiya yung likas na yaman ng bansa sa utang sa China?
I don't think so. Kasi yan ang standard nga ng mga terms ng kanilang ano. Saka isa pa, it's not even clear whether or not yung patrimonial assets is as defined by the Constitution, ours, or their Constitution. O hindi, tama yung, kasi napanood ko si Batong Bakal kanina. Sinasabi niya na, hindi mo natin alam kung ano bang definition ng patrimonial assets sa definition ng Pilipino o definition nila. Kasi wala naman nakalagay sa kontrata, which... Hindi, with respect nga sa patrimonial assets na pwede mo, anong definition nila nun? But nevertheless, as I say, siguro kaya talaga malakas ang loob kasi we never rinig eh. Kita mo yung ano na ba yung utang natin sa yung energy? O nuclear power, kita mo yun, ilang bilyon yun, tambayanan natin. Eh, hindi nga natin nagamit yun. Ito pang Chico Jam, nagagamitin natin. Parang in the realm of speculation and improbability.
Rosalie?
Yung ano din po, yung confidentiality dun po sa agreement, loan
Yung ano yan?
agreement. Yung confidentiality clause dun po sa loan agreement, hindi rin po ba ito questionable, sir? Kasi syempre ang public is may karapatang malaman yun po nga pakikipagkasundo pagdating sa...
Eh, hindi ba nakalabas naman sa ano? Di ba nasa... Yung agreement mismo nasa online eh. There's nothing confidential about it. Yung nga nirereklamo nila, nandun na pala, ever since, nasa online. Nasa DFA. DOF. Sabi, yun ang sabi ni Sunny Dominguez.
Okay, Pia?
So, sir, you are confirming that yung sinabi ni Justice Carpio, these are really the terms of the Chico River loan contract?
Kung nakita niyo as online, I'm just predicating my response to kung yung mismong kontrata, yun yung nabasa niya.
So, you're not even sure, sir, if yung allegations are true
Hindi,
or not?
hindi ba sabi ko assuming that to be true, kaya pinasok yung ganito ang sagot ko dyan.
Sir, have you seen the copy
No,
of the
I have
loan
not
contract?
seen it. Nobody has sent me a copy.
So, you're assuming na lang, sir, na
Yeah, assuming that to be true, ganun pa rin ang sagot ko. It's the same.
Sir, nabanggit ni Justice Carpio na itong terms ng Chico River contract could be the terms of other loan contracts between China and the Philippines.
What do you mean altered loan contract?
Yung other loan contracts for other projects.
Oh.
It will be a template. Do you see
Not
anything wrong
necessarily.
with that?
Not necessarily. Like, for instance, if we show the Chinese government that we are on time, regularly paying, or if you are the borrower or the lender rather, you will know na magaling tong borrower na ito, hindi ka na kailangan mag-impose ng mga onerous conditions against them. So, not necessarily na maging tin plate na yun.
So the Philippines can still negotiate the terms of the...
Kung napag-agreean na nila yun sa Chico Drum, paano may negotiate? You can only rescind that if there is fraud.
All right, thank you, sir.
May follow-up? RJ?
And or the intention of the parties were not written down.
Sir, just to reiterate what you said, did you say it's logical that our natural resources are being used as collateral for loan agreements with China?
Now, what I'm saying is the onerous conditions that some are saying incorporated in the contract is standard between lender and borrower to be sure that the lender will be getting what they have lent to the borrower.
That's the standard. Therefore, it's logical that we have this collateral using our natural resources for loan agreements with China.
I do not know the loan agreement entered into by previous governments. If they have done that, then it would be standard for them.
And you don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't see anything wrong because I know it will never happen. That is precisely why I'm saying that perhaps the economic managers who entered into a contract know that it will never happen.
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up? Other issue? Maricel?
Sir, just a follow-up lang, clarification. So, in the previous loans entered during the time of the president, hindi naging collateral yung project na pinapasok?
I don't know which loan.
I don't know, the previous loans prior to the Chico.
I do not know of any loan prior to this.
Because
Unless you have to tell me. Tell me first.
No, because you mentioned earlier that you see nothing wrong if it's being used as a collateral. So I'm just wondering if there were previous loans na ganito rin yung naging terms.
I was referring to previous governments.
Okay, sir.
Not this government.
Sir,
Not this administration.
on other issues, sir, may we have your take on the statement of Senator De Lima calling the president to fire Sandra Cam from PCSO because of the corruption allegations?
From what I understand, somebody has already filed a case in the ombudsman. So that's the ombudsman call now.
So the president has no plans of firing Sandra Cam?
Since it's already with the ombudsman and the ombudsman has the power to suspend, I think we'll let it do the process.
Even the call for investigation on the
It's
corruption
being investigated.
allegations? No, I mean on the part of Malacañang, will there be any instruction coming from the president to investigate Sandra
We
Cam?
will not be duplicating any investigation considering the fact that there is no pending case with the ombudsman.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, other issue? MPC? Pia?
Sir, si former cop Eduardo Asherto is saying in a press briefing
Sino?
that in
CAAP? Sino yan?
dating police, sir. Si Eduardo Asherto has surfaced and said in a press briefing that he gave a report to then PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa in 2017 that the president's advisor, Michael Yang, is involved in drugs. So, can you give your
Hindi
reaction
ba
to that, sir?
na-clarify na yan? Even the ambassador has cleared Michael Yang. In fact, he was telling me personally, and even I think, I don't know, he made the statement. If I will never associate myself with one who is involved in drugs. In fact, sabi niya, he slept there, I think, one or twice. He's never, I don't think Michael Young was ever involved. Otherwise, nasa listahan na yan or may kaso na yan.
Pero do you know, sir, that after this information was given to the PNP chief, that there was an investigation by the PNP to clear the
I
name
will have
of
to ask
Michael
the
Young?
PNP chief.
Okay, sir. Sir, itong si Eduardo Asierto is a former police superintendent na nasama sa drug matrix. He was implicated in the drug trade. Ang ngayon na sinasabi niya that the reason he was included in the drug list was because nag-report siya na tungkol sa kaibigan ng Pangulo na si Michael
Hindi
Young.
ko alam yan. I have no personal knowledge of that.
Thank you, sir.
Question, MPC? Ina?
Hi, sir. Sir, just a quick reaction, please, doon sa malaking protest held by motorcycle riders yesterday. They're basically saying that the Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act signed by the President is unconstitutional.
Why? Why now? What's their argument?
This is the law requiring them to put bigger plates and I think color-coded plates dun sa
Then
motorcycles.
if they feel it's unconstitutional, they can always raise that before the courts.
But of course, the President is standing by it.
Of course,
Considering,
he has
sir,
signed it.
and because the President is a known motorcycle enthusiast, baka meron lang siyang mensahe dun sa mga... And these people supported him in his campaign, I understand, big groups. Baka lang meron
I will
siyang
ask him
mensahe.
para mas... we haven't talked about that yet.
Thank you, sir.
Joseph?
So sir, ibig sabihin, the President also has to comply with the big plates, no?
Yes, pero hindi naman nagmumotor yun eh.
Hindi, sometimes, diba sinasabi?
Hindi, si Mayor Sara na ngayon nagmumotor.
So both of them have to
Bawal
comply.
na sa kanya kasi di ba, ang dami na niya aksidente.
So both of them, sir, mag-comply din sa bigger plates.
Everyone should comply. No exception.
Sige, sir.
MPC questions? Wala na kayong tanong. O, Tina Maralit. Joseph?
Kala ko ICC.
Sir, good morning po. Sir, may update na po ba tayo kung kailan yung release ng executive order regarding executive order to address the water supply concerns, especially since po Pag-asa just announced that water in Angat Dam may reach critical level
Wala
by
pa.
April.
Wala pang pinifeed sa akin kung gawa na.
But Malacañang po sees it as a pressing concern po.
Yeah, that's why it's issuing an executive order to address concerns relative to it.
All right, thank you, sir.
May follow-up sa water. Other issue. Nestor?
Secretary, the President is embarking on his fourth China trip this April to attend the Second Belt and Road Forum.
April kailan?
This April, sir. No specific date yet. To attend the Belt and Road Forum. What do we expect from his visit, sir?
Well, I suppose continuation of their discussion on mutual concerns relative to trade, security, and what else that will benefit both countries.
Sir, what does this say about our relation, about the Philippines' relation with China, since this is the fourth time the President has accepted the invitation to go to Beijing? I understand meron ding invitation from the United States, but the President has not accepted or responded to the invitation. What does this say about our relationship with China compared that of the United States?
I think the relationship between the U.S. and China remains cordial and healthy. So with America, the only reason perhaps why the President has not considered visiting is because of the temperature. He couldn't stand very cold temperature. He gets sick.
MPC? Rosalie?
Secretary, can you also confirm reports na bibisita rin si Pangulo sa Japan in May?
So I heard that too. Yes, I think so, yes.
So it's
Parang
confirmed.
May. Yeah. Mukha. Parang narinig ko sa protocol. Hindi ko pa, but I will confirm that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay now? Tanong pa, Joseph.
ICC?
So yung sa ICC soundbite purposes lang, no? You mentioned before, and even the president, no? Na walang jurisdiction. But let's focus first on the one that was filed by Justice Morales and Secretary Del Rosario. So, do you think this is something that has a different goal in
Different
terms
what?
goal, sir? Parang
Goal.
it's an attack na indirect ng, you know what I mean? Parang tangential attack. Ibig sabihin, they really didn't want to make China pay for the.
I think more of political.
Okay. Because, sir.
They may know that China is a member state party. Philippines is not also state party, so how can ICC assumes jurisdiction?
Because we're not moving. Okay, go ahead.
I just heard an Indiana professor saying over ANC when he was interviewed that, in fact, that complaint might even strengthen China in refusing and making a hard stance on the South China Sea. Yun ang sinasabi ng iba. Yung iba naman, talagang walang jurisdiction. Another thing, I don't want to say this now because I'm still asking for documentation. Kichit Morales, I have no problem with her. I think she filed it out of righteous indignation. Siguro yung isa rin, except that somebody just told me, and I'm asking for documentation, that when he was Secretary of Foreign Affairs, when China was still starting to build structures, half the size of a basketball court, he was already informed officially on that. In fact, pictures were given him, or DFA, and subsequent structures, but they ignored it. He ignored it because he, according to my source, he doesn't want to rock the boat. That's why I told my source, I need documents. I need communications from your group to DFA. I need pictures that you have given them. I need official response coming from Del Rosario. Because if that is true, then, mali. Bakit noon hindi ka naggumalaw, ngayon ka lang naggagalaw? Kung wala ka na sa posisyon. When, at the time, you could have made protests, made noise. Pero, yun ang source ko. So I'm asking my source to give me documents. And then I'll present it to you.
But they did file at the Permanent Court of Arbitration during
Yun
their
ang,
time.
ang sabi nung source ko, sabi niya, they only filed nung nakatayo na lahat. But before, hindi na sinasabi ni Presidente. Bakit nung nag-uumpisa pa lang yan, wala kayong ginawa? Nung naitayo na, saka kayo nag-iingay. Hindi na sinasabi ni Presidente, I remember, during the campaign.
Sir, just one last point. Do you think that the complaint may have the effect of the PCA,
What's PCA?
Permanent Court of Arbitration, sir,
Oh.
enforcing the award in one way or another, meaning maybe just issuing a statement
Hindi
that
kaya
it's...
nila ini-enforce. So, until now naman, they are not enforcing it.
No, but do you think that has the effect of compelling the PCA to do something and
Hindi
maybe
naman,
ask...
because there's only a communication. Wala, they will determine whether mayroong jurisdiction o wala. Whether jurisdictional crime yon. Kasi di ba, in my statement I said, the case against it was
Crimes against
act of
humanity.
inhumanity, di ba?
Crimes against
Crimes
humanity,
against
sir.
humanity. And it was defined like kung ano yung crimes of against humanity, murder, rape, kung ano pa. Tapos yung last, and other inhuman acts. So I said in my corrected statement, unless you consider environmental damage as an inhuman act.
Is it
Baka naman overstress na rin yun pagdating sa court. Hindi natin alam.
So you don't share that opinion, sir, that it is a crime against humanity to, one, destroy the environment, number two, deprive our people of their livelihood?
No, what I'm saying is, hindi, kasi it's the court that will determine that.
But still, sir.
But my position, or our position in the palace is that no jurisdiction simply because China is not a member state. Philippines is not also a member state.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Sir, sinabi po ninyo kanina, nung panahon ni former Secretary Del Rosario, he didn't want to rock the boat. I believe this is the same stance taken by President Duterte. And again, as Joseph pointed out earlier, former SFA actually filed a case which we ended up winning, favoring our claims.
That was subsequent after so many structures have been made.
Okay.
What my source is saying is that they were just starting. Nung maliit pa lang yan, ayaw nilang gumalaw. In other words, pwede na nilang na-stop yun from the very beginning. Pinabayaan nilang lumaki, tsaka lang sila nag-file sa court.
Okay, but
Ngayon, sinisisi niyo yung gobyerno dahil hindi ma-enforce.
but nonetheless, ongoing construction continued under President Duterte's watch. Would you say that President Duterte is responding to the constructions better than how former SFA did when he filed it and actually won something which favored or strengthened our claims in the area?
Alam mo, you cannot compare what happened prior kasi yung prior, nag-uumpisa pa lang eh. This time, nakatayo na eh. Nagka-problema. Ubod na ng laki yung
Sir,
nakatayo
pero
doon.
dinadagdagan po
Meanwhile,
nila.
the President is using negotiation, diplomatic negotiation. Kasi nga, wala nga maka-enforce eh. Walang malakas na kapangyarihan na gustong mag-enforce. Una-una, the court itself, how can it enforce? Wala naman siyang army to enforce it.
But in the same way, sir, dinadagdagan pa rin po ng China yung kanilang ginagawa, and the President, as you mentioned, also chooses to
But
not
we
rock the
protest
boat.
naman eh. The only way to do that, to register opposition, is to protest. And ako, as the former Secretary Alan Cayetano said, we've been making protests pero hindi namin ina-announce na sa inyo.
In the same way, ganun din naman po yung ginawa ni former
Hindi
SFA.
nga eh. Hindi nga sila nagpo-protest noon. Yan nga ang point ng source ko.
Are you not giving them credit, sir, for winning that case for us?
Iba yung nanalo sila. Kumbaga, ginawa niya yan after. Hindi na sana nakarating sa pag-file ng kaso. Kung at the inception, hininto niya na. Nagreklamo na kayo. Nung half the size of a basketball court pa lang.
And you're saying because nangyari na yon, wala na magagawa ngayon si President Duterte?
Ay, sino bang, may nagawa ba ang Amerika? May nagawa ba ang IC? Wala nga eh. Kaya nga nag-negotiate na lang tayo. Baka sakaling may mangyari. Like for instance, yung mga fishermen na dating binubugaw nila, hindi na nila binubugaw. Hindi nadala sa
Actually, there are
negotiation.
still complaints by fishermen, sir.
Oh, pero hindi naman nababalidate eh. Kasi mismo yung nagbabantay doon, sinasabing wala.
Thank you, sir.
RJ. Ina, Pao.
On ICC again, sir. The late Senator Miriam Santiago was the first Filipino who's elected as ICC judge. Now you're saying that we've never been a member of the ICC, so her election to the ICC representing the Philippines was void?
If the position is we've never been a state party, then logically it is void. Unless the international court says it is not.
But the
Kasi that's a legal issue eh. As far as we're concerned, they never assumed jurisdiction over us. As far as they're concerned, they assumed jurisdiction because there was a treaty. Eh tayo naman, may treaty nga, pero you didn't follow the Constitution naman. Kaya wala rin yan. So it's a legal issue.
But the fact, sir, that she intended to be an ICC judge, meaning she knew that the Philippines was a member state. So are you saying that she got it wrong when she campaigned
Obviously,
to be part?
she never knew, knowing her to be a lawyer, she never knew that there was a publication on the official gazette or a newspaper of general circulation. Had she known that, knowing her, I'm sure she would have raised that as an issue.
So she got it wrong. Thank you.
Mike. Microphone. Nasa
Unless she has a different interpretation. Ay, wala na. Too late.
But sir, di ba we put Raul Pangalangan there as ICC representative?
Kasi nga, the assumption then, during the previous government administration,
Yeah, but did we pull
is
him
meron.
out? Because I know he's still there.
ay, hindi natin alam.
But why won't we pull him out if the ICC is not
We
there
don't have to
anymore?
pull out anybody. If the position is we never was under the jurisdiction of the court, then it behooves whoever is there to do something for himself.
So it's up to him
Well,
if
nasa
ever.
kanya na yun. At saka nasa international court na rin yun. If the international court allows him to stay and remain there, ba't naman ayaw niya?
But won't it be a stronger case for the government if you pull him out there as representative if we are no
Hindi.
longer
In
recognizing
the first place,
ICC?
magiging inconsistent ka. Sinabi mo na walang jurisdiction, but wala. From the very start, walang jurisdiction. Yun na nga sinasabi nila, bakit kayo nag-withdraw kung walang jurisdiction? Ang sinasabi naman, hindi naman nag-withdraw in that sense na ayaw na namin. That letter was effectively telling them that, excuse us, we have never been under your jurisdiction.
Okay, Pia?
Sir, the group of Neri Colmenares released a documentary on Facebook showing the effect of the conflict between China and the Philippines to their livelihood. They interviewed mga fishermen in fishing in the Scarborough Shoal, where they detailed kung paano sinisira ng mga Chinese Coast Guard yung kanilang mga bangka, kung paano kinukuha yung kanilang mga huli. So while the Philippine government is negotiating with China and you said protesting the actions of China in the South China Sea, ano po ang ginagawa natin to help these fishermen na siya talagang
Baka naman yung mga video
may
niya, yung
effect
mga noon pa yan, ang ginawa na nga natin ng parang, kaya nga na-stop eh. Hindi siguro recent yan.
It's a recent video, sir, released a few days ago or
Yeah, I
yesterday,
know it's
yata 2 days
it's
ago.
a recent release. What I'm saying is, baka yung video taken prior. Kasi may ginawa na tayo dyan eh. Di ba? Ang dami reklamo nun. Gumawa na nga ng diplomatic negotiation dyan.
Yes.
Pumayag na nga sila. Hindi na nga sila pinaalis eh.
So you're denying, sir, that these are happening
I do not know
in
whether
the Scarborough Shoal?
they have to show proof that that's being done now again. Because if that's being done, certainly we will protest. We will not allow our countrymen to be subjected to that kind of harassment.
So, but if it indeed they prove that these are recent videos, these are recent interviews, and these are happening in Masinloc, Zambales,
Then
sir,
we will protest. We will not allow it to happen.
what about yung fishermen, sir? Habang nagpo-protesta, habang nagnenegosasyon, ano yung ginagawa natin to
No,
augment?
kasi as far as I
Because
know,
their
hindi
needs are
sila tinataboy
more
doon.
urgent.
Noon yun, nung mga panahon, natigil na nga.
So the
In
palace
fact-
is saying that
in
you have
fact,
already...
Sino man nagsabi sa akin? One general was telling me na yung mga Vietnamese nga daw. Vietnamese, pag tinataboy, tumatakbo sa mga Filipino fishermen para napoprotect sila. They are being shielded from being attacked. Kasi yung mga Pilipino hindi na ginagalaw eh.
So essentially, sir, without seeing the video, you're denying that these yung
I'm
mga
saying
claims are
that you have to
true?
show proof that that is still happening now. Because if it's still happening now, then we will protest. We will not allow that to happen to our fishermen.
Thank you, sir.
Last na tayo kay Joseph.
Sir, sabi niyo po, yung... Your flight can wait for you, sir. Hindi.
Lapit na.
Okay. Sir, so yung sinabi niyo po kanina na hindi na sila tinataboy, hindi na tinataboy ng China yung ating mga mangingisda. You don't see any problem with that dynamic, sir? Na China has the power to shoo away our fishermen from...
Tanong ko naman sa'yo, may magagawa ba tayo silang may control as of now, di ba? Meron silang puwersa doon. We can only protest like any other country na nagkiklaim, like Vietnam and other, kung ano pang bansa yun na nagkiklaim. Saka yun lang magagawa natin eh. You want us to declare war against them?
No. They have control.
Hindi
You
ba
said?
they have control kasi nagtayo sila ng ano nila doon, puwersa nila. Meron silang island doon, may mga military sila doon.
Military.
Kaya hindi ba? Yan ang pagkakalam ko. Anyway, kasi ang style nga ni Presidente, since wala naman maka-enforce yan, mag-usap na lang tayo. Kung baga, okay naman, sa inyo na nga lahat, amin na lang, ibigay nyo na sa amin yan. Parang ganun ang estilo ni Presidente.
So, sir, are we powerless against China?
Or what?
Are we powerless against China?
Powerless? What do you mean powerless?
You said,
In
nandun
what
na
sense?
sila, wala na tayong magagawa, let's just talk.
What I'm saying is, tell me, has any arbitral ruling by this international court been enforced previously? Dahil kung meron, ay may pag-asa tayo. Kung wala, sa ngayon, wala tayong muna magagawa. So pag-usapan na lang natin sa negotiation, diplomatic muna.
Hindi ba, sir, pampalakas ng loob yung ruling natin, at least to do something, make a statement, or not be subservient
But
to
we're
China
making
too much?
statement naman, di ba? Kaya lang hindi na pinapublish, but we make diplomatic protests. Always.
Pero, sir, as a matter of policy, we do not agree that
Oh, of
China...
course.
No, we do not agree that China should have a control over that area.
Certainly, that is ours. And the arbitral ruling says it's ours.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay, Pia.
Sir, if ever ito yung mga pinakita din sa documentary are true, o kung totoo pa rin na apektuhan yung livelihood ng ating mga fishermen doon,
Then we will make a diplomatic protest.
but what does this say about the effectivity of the diplomatic track that the Duterte administration has taken in resolving the dispute?
Well, if there was a negotiation and there was an agreement not to touch them, and then one incident, two incidents violates such agreement, then we have to tell them. And they will have to correct it.
But doesn't this show na hindi naman effective yung pakikipag-usap sa kanila? Nag-negotiation tayo pero
Kaya problema nga
wala
eh.
naman nangyayari.
Outside of negotiation, anong gagawin ba natin? What is important is we are not agreeing to what they're doing to us. No, we're not allowing it. We're
Last na-
opposing it.
Sir, itong bilateral talks, it has been a few years since it has started. Can you say, sir, kung ano na yung mga nagawa nito to resolve issues?
As far as I know, yun nga ang sinasabi ko. Yun nga ang sinasabi ni Ambassador Zhao sa akin nun eh. Hindi na nagagalaw yung mga fishermen doon. So may nangyari sa usapan nila. Now, if there is a violation, then we will have to go back to them. Oh, may violation daw. You better stop it. Basta the policy is, you cannot be harassing our fishermen.
Okay. Joseph?
Doon lang sa point na yun, sir. Kasi I think nag-aalala yung mga mangingisda natin na because of this complaint, baka may gawin na naman yung Chinese Coast Guard or China. So dapat talk to our fishermen, no? Dapat ano yung gagawin nila at dapat nararanasan nila dun sa ating,
Alam mo,
for emphasis,
problema kasi, may Coast Guard tayo doon. May nagbabantay doon. If you ask them, sinasabi nilang wala. Then, di ba, the issue statement, no such thing. Pero sabi naman daw ng mayor ng isang island doon, yata, sabi niya, meron. O, problema, hindi natin malaman kung ano talaga.
so dapat, sir, they should fish confidently in that area.
Dapat. They should not be touched or harassed.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, no more MPC? Okay, thank you, Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo. Thank you, MPC. Happy birthday kay Tuesday and Evelyn Queros.
Happy birthday!
Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.